Alright guys, so welcome back again. So in this video, we're gonna do the lab system of the 100 days of Cloud Azure series. So we complete 15 labs. So today is day 16. So lab title is create a private Azure block story container. Alright, so if we are ready, let's go. So I want to explain within a diagram to simplify what is Azure Block Story. So in the previous labs, I already explained a bit about the Azure Block Story. It is kind of like a disk, to store data, information, to keep it private or to keep it public, something like that. So we can simply see this diagram here. So on the internet, there are gonna be many kinds of user, billions of user, millions of user. So but some user are not authorized. Some user are authorized user, for example, like the on internet. So if you don't have the access key, you are not allowed to access to this block storage here. You cannot do direct access. You will be denied for you're gonna show full unauthorized error if you don't have access key. So if you are anyway if you become an authorized user, you have access key. Probably you may have some SAS tokens to request or to access this block storage. So actually this is a block storage here. This area is block storage here. In the private container, this is my private container. You will keep the file, PDF file or documentation some file or images file or data CSV file, something like that. So if you can access, if you can request, you can get any sort of file from this block storage of the Azure here, but this is private. So you cannot do an anonymous access to this block story. But on the application level with the managed identity, you can send requests and you can manage this block story container data. So here, so we have the full authentication methods. So the first one is if your account key, you can access to the block story. If your SAS token, you can go to the block story and you can download the files or you can manage some files, something like that. And also if you have the managed identity, you can try to enter this block story to get a data. And also if you had Azure AD, you can access to this block story. So yeah, so you can simply understand the block story is a kind of like a storage disk. It will store many kinds of files and data information related with the application or maybe related with some projects, something like that. So yeah, we can simply understand with this diagram. Alright, so let's go to the lab. So as a part of the data migration process, the Natalia's DevOps team is actively creating several storage containers on Azure. So they plan to utilize private block containers to store the relevant data. So relevant data means is it important or something like that, important data. So given the ongoing migration or other infrastructure to Azure, it is logical to consolidate data story within Azure environment as well. Sorry for that.
Consolidate.
Yeah, consolidate data story within Azure environment as well. So creating a new story account. So a storage account name is this, and we're gonna create a private block container name is this within a storage account. So we have two steps. So the first step is we had two steps. So first step is to create storage account. And the second step is we will create the block story container, right? So we create private block container. Sorry. Yeah. So we had to consider these two steps. So all right. So we're trying to see if the Azure group list is a group list to know the resource group name, because we have to use the resource group name when we're creating something new or when we modify something new within this requirements. For this requirement, sorry. So we will find the command line to create new storage account. So how to create new storage account on Azure CLI. So I will find like that. So we have to apply this bash script, this command. So I will copy this. So it is not clearly mentioned about the location, it's not clearly mentioned about the SKU standard LRS, so we can remove this part. We just only need to create the storage account, and then we can choose the default metadata for this stuff. So I will remove this, we don't need this. So resource group name is, we will give the correct resource group name. So resource group name is, I'm gonna copy from here, and this is resource group name, and I will apply here. And what is the storage account name? So lab requirements say here storage account name is Fusion ST4407. So I will copy this command, I will run here. Yeah. We don't need to think for this parameter, right? Oh, is there something wrong? What's wrong? Oh yeah, it's running right now. So, and after that we have to create the private block story container name is so I will find like that command line, how to create a private block story container of Azure on CentOS terminal. So we're gonna have to apply this command line to create a new story container. Yeah, so we successfully created a new story account right here. So, and then we will run this command to create the private block story container. Blob. So alright, so I don't need this parameter auto mode login, we don't need this, I will remove this. So container name is, we have to specify this container name is Fusion Blob and 32864, and then account name is storage account name, we had to get here. So how do we know the story account name? So here we had to find the story account name. So story account name is asset tire copies go. Story account name is here story account name is here is Fusion 407 is already mentioned here, also clear. So you can also copy from here. So here I will do like this, and I will run this command to create new private block story container. Okay, trying to enter. Yeah, so we successfully created. So let me verify the final stuff to see if the story container list. So here the story account name, and then story account name is, and this is Fusion 4407. Sorry, it's Fusion dash 4407, right? It's Fusion ST 4407. All right, so I will try to enter. Yeah, so you will see that here list status, you don't see the list status, but we successfully created that is Fusion block 31846. This is block container. Let me run one more time. All right, so we can check it out, and I'll click confirm button. We'll copy all of these tabs. Yeah, so we successfully complete this challenge. So if I can do it, you can also do it, right? So this is easy peasy. But at least you must understand what is block storage. Looking at this diagram, so block storage is a story container to save the data, to keep the files and information on the Azure Cloud server. So we have two steps. The first step is to create story account, and after that we will go to create private block container. So that's it. So yeah, so far so easy, right? So alright, so thanks for watching. I will catch you in the next video.